Andrew's exile isn't enough for some critics. Here's what could come next. Welcome back to Crown Chronicles, where we dive deep into the most compelling stories from the British royal family. I'm your host, and today we're tackling one of the most controversial figures in modern royal history. But before we get into it, if you're new here or you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you never miss our latest royal updates. Trust me, you won't want to miss what's coming in the next few weeks. Now, here's a question that's been dominating headlines and dinner table conversations across Britain. What happens when exile isn't enough? Prince Andrew stepped back from royal duties. He lost his military titles. He's essentially been erased from the public face of the monarchy. But for many, that's just the beginning. Today, we're exploring what critics are demanding next, and let me tell you, some of these proposals are absolutely shocking. Let's set the stage. Prince Andrew, the Duke of York, once the Queen's favorite son, has become what many call the royal family's biggest liability in generations. His association with Jeffrey Epstein, the explosive Newsnight interview that backfired spectacularly, and the subsequent legal settlement have left an indelible stain on the monarchy's reputation. King Charles made his position clear. Andrew was stripped of his honorary military roles, his royal patronages, and his HRH title in official capacity. He can no longer use His Royal Highness in any public setting. For all intents and purposes, he's been exiled to the fringes of royal life, living quietly at Royal Lodge in Windsor, largely out of sight and definitely out of mind. But here's where it gets interesting. A vocal and growing segment of critics, politicians, and the British public are saying this isn't nearly enough. So what exactly are they calling for? First on the list, complete removal of all titles. Right now, Andrew still holds the title Duke of York, even if he can't actively use his HRH designation. Critics argue that allowing him to retain any royal title whatsoever sends the wrong message. There's precedent for this, by the way. Remember when Harry and Meghan stepped back? They kept their titles but agreed not to use them commercially. But this situation is different. We're not talking about a voluntary departure, we're talking about accountability for serious allegations and damaging associations. Republican groups and anti-monarchy campaigners have been particularly vocal here. They argue that the title Duke of York carries historical weight in taxpayer-funded privileges, and that someone with Andrew's tarnished reputation should be stripped of it entirely. Some MPs have even raised the possibility of parliamentary action to remove the dukedom, though the constitutional implications would be complex. Second, financial accountability and transparency. This is where things get really heated. Prince Andrew currently resides at the 30-room Royal Lodge, a property he leases from the Crown Estate. The question everyone's asking is, who's actually paying for his lifestyle? Reports suggest that King Charles may have cut off Andrew's annual allowance, but the details remain murky. Critics are demanding full transparency about Andrew's finances. Where is his money coming from? Is he receiving any funds from the sovereign grant indirectly? Who paid for his legal settlement, which reportedly ran into the millions? The British public has a right to know if taxpayer money is supporting someone who's been effectively exiled from royal duties. There's also the matter of his security costs. Even in his diminished role, Andrew reportedly receives police protection, which costs the public purse significantly. Many are questioning whether this level of security is justified for someone who no longer represents the crown. Third, a formal public inquiry. Perhaps the most dramatic demand is for an independent public inquiry into Andrew's associations and conduct. While he settled a civil lawsuit, he's never faced criminal charges, and he's consistently denied any wrongdoing. But for many, the court of public opinion has already delivered its verdict. Campaigners argue that the monarchy's handling of the scandal was designed primarily to protect the institution rather than seek truth and accountability. They want an independent investigation that examines not just Andrew's actions, but how the palace managed the crisis, what was known and when, and whether there was any attempt to shield him from consequences. This kind of inquiry would be unprecedented in modern royal history. It would require Andrew to potentially testify under oath, palace communications to be scrutinized, and the inner workings of royal decision-making to be exposed to public view. It's exactly the kind of transparency the monarchy has historically resisted. Fourth, permanent exile from all royal events. Currently, Andrew has been excluded from major public royal occasions, but he's occasionally been spotted at private family gatherings. Some critics want this codified and made absolute. No trooping the color, no Christmas at Sandringham, no Easter services, no royal weddings or christenings, even in a private capacity. The argument is simple. His presence at any royal event, even behind closed doors, undermines the monarchy's attempt to distance itself from the scandal. Every photograph, every glimpse of Andrew with other royals, reopens old wounds and generates negative headlines. So where does this leave us? King Charles faces an impossible balancing act. On one hand, Andrew is his brother, a member of his family who deserves some level of compassion and support. On the other hand, Charles is acutely aware that the monarchy's survival depends on public trust and relevance. He's worked hard to project an image of a slimmed-down, modern monarchy focused on service and accountability. The reality is that what happens next will likely depend on public pressure and Andrew's own behavior. If he maintains his low profile and stays out of trouble, the status quo may hold. But if new revelations emerge, or if public outrage intensifies, we could see more dramatic action. One royal commentator I spoke with put it this way: the monarchy's greatest strength has always been its ability to adapt and survive. Whether that means further distancing from Andrew, implementing financial reforms, or even supporting some form of inquiry remains to be seen. What's clear is that the Andrew problem isn't going away. His exile may be the beginning, not the end, of this royal saga. The question isn't just what should happen to Prince Andrew, it's what kind of monarchy Britain wants in the 21st century. One that protects its own at all costs, or one that holds its members accountable, even when it's painful. What do you think? Is Andrew's current exile sufficient, or should more be done? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And remember, if you found this video informative, give it a thumbs up and share it with anyone who loves royal news as much as we do. Until next time, this is Crown Chronicles, reminding you that in the world of royalty, the drama never ends.